The graduation season is drawing to a close. With rising unemployment in South Africa, just finding a job can be daunting. I'm joined now by Thamsanqa Makhubela, the CEO of the South African Council for Graduates. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
It's a pleasure, Annelie. Thank you for hosting us.
So we've heard there that with the release of the statistics, nationally 27.6% unemployment, but for the youth specifically, 55.2%. That is incredibly daunting. What does your organisation do to try and assist graduates specifically in not only finding but keeping jobs and gaining access to market?
Only in December we were here and we talk about what it is that we're doing, which includes two things. One is to ensure that students and graduates become competent by ensuring that they have access to workplace training, which is quite important for them to have that work experience. However, it's also important, which is the second thing that we do, to ensure that students are able to start their own businesses, and upon graduation, they go and run their own successful businesses, be it NGOs, cooperatives, SMMEs. Because the private sector is not hiring, government is sitting with a huge backlog in terms of hiring as well. So it is good time that we just came out of an election season, and we have a new president coming into place, we have new cabinet coming into place. How are we going to deal with this? Our role is very clear. We need to support government and hold them accountable to ensure that we do not only reduce youth unemployment, but make sure that our youth, particularly graduates, become part of the solution for the problem we are facing: rising poverty, rising crime, and a lot of people being hopeless.
So how are co-ops or cooperatives ideal vehicles for empowering graduates to make that transition from an environment of learning to an environment of working?
We've got two products that we use to ensure that cooperatives become successful and viable. What we've realized is that there's a very high rate of cooperatives failure in South Africa. So we've got a business toolbox, which is a digitization program that is a 360-degree comprehensive business management program, because a lot of people don't know how to run a business. They can manufacture a product, they can produce a service, but running a business is a completely mind-boggling aspect. So we've got that. It's an incubation that we do on a platform and on a basis where people can do it virtually, or we can also provide it to them where we are online or also present. Secondly, we've got a PXT assessment. That predominantly what it does, it gives people an indication of their level of suitability to a specific work or job or career or occupation. How suitable am I? So it gives an indication of 75%. So to answer your question directly now, cooperatives are useful in a state in South Africa, particularly at the moment where a lot of people are unemployed. Some people have some resources. So clubbing together the resources by the unemployed provides an opportunity where they don't start from a basis of zero, but they start from something that to say we may have 20%, we may have 10% of the resources we need to run a business. And as a result, you're empowering a lot more people than just few individuals.
We heard just in a bite before starting this interview, one analyst saying that a failure in the education system is partly responsible for such a high rate of unemployment among the youth. And we also had a look before that at some figures showing the different rates between graduates and those who are untrained or unskilled. Have you, in your interactions with graduates, seen a failure of the education system, or do you think there are other factors at play here?
The education system is quite inadequate, but not only the education, the higher education system, because Terry Bell was my professor at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, where I did my MBA, my MPhil degree in political economy. I also did my MBA in South Korea. What I've realized is that our universities and colleges are not preparing young people for work. We still become theoretical. They learn how things work. They learn about concepts, but they're not really trained to become competent. And really also, you cannot expect that of institutions where you have professors, lecturers who are the academic themselves in nature. They are not practitioners. Most of them have never run a business. So how on earth would you expect those to be successful? Most of our young people, the reading is very poor. Even those who've completed their qualifications, their degrees or diplomas. And then calculating and their ability, because our PXT is able to look at the numerical ability and numerical reasoning, is very low. So what we need, while we're saying we need to deal with the question of Terry Bell of dealing with education, we have a serious issue now of a troops of unemployed people growing each and every day in South Africa. And therefore, we cannot wait and point fingers at the education system. We've got to find a solution that would say, how do we mitigate the failures of the education system? How do we mitigate the failures of our education system? That is why we believe strongly in workplace training. But you cannot do workplace training only when students have left the university or college. You've got to do it while they're still studying. So we are asking companies, we are working with a number of companies already with some funding provided by the SETAs to say, let us open up the workplaces, let us ensure that our employers, the professionals, the people that are employed become mentors and supervisors of these young people for them to understand what it is to work. However, finally, to answer your question, President Ramaphosa, his new cabinet, we have a problem in South Africa of very poor work ethic.
So, because I think it's very important, I don't mean to interrupt you, but quickly, for people to be able to access you, where can graduates get hold of you? Just a telephone number, an email address, a website?
To contact us, you need to dial 011-318-0066. I repeat, 011-318-0066. To email, go to admin@cooperativecouncil.co.za. And so as well, our email address would be www.cooperativecouncil.co.za. We want young people to realize that we've got to grow and improve the work ethics in South Africa so that we can manufacture goods and sell them to other countries to earn a foreign interest.
Thank you very much. And we did put your details there on the screen so graduates can access your programs. Thank you very much for your time. That was Thamsanqa Mathubela from the South African Council of Graduates speaking to us about the unemployment rate.